now it's gotten in the throat.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? For First We Feast, I'm Sean Evans, and you're watching Hot Ones. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. And today we're joined by Dave Burd. He's a rapper, comedian, and filmmaker you know from his semi-autobiographical FX comedy series Dave for My Money, one of the best shows on TV. And after almost a decade of anticipation, we have a new Lil Dicky album as well, a 20-song soundtrack to the show called Penith, available now. Dave Burd, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Sean. I appreciate being here.
What's going through your head as you prepare to take on the gauntlet? Are you having any concerns going into this?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't have concerns. I don't know where I stand as far as heat, and I can tell you I'm definitely a pussy, just in general. That can apply everywhere, globally. I'm a global pussy. I don't like roller coasters. I don't like, even sledding is too fast. But I tend to like the heat, so I'm just curious. I don't know what to expect. I think the line will be drawn. There'll be a point where I am too big of a pussy, but I'm hopeful that it's after the 10th wave. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Classic buff. That's classic. That's a timeless wing.
So I'm curious about the process of creating a full-length album of original songs created for a TV show that you've created.
Yeah.
Which comes first, the song concept or the role that it needs to play in the show?
It varies, but for a lot of these songs, the song did come first. Here's what happens: is that I make the show. The show takes up an extreme amount of my time. I can't even emphasize how much. It's a year of just because I'm writing it, I'm in every scene, I'm part of the directing, I'm editing everything at the end, scoring it. So what I do after every season is oh my God, I'm in the studio every day just trying to make music, maybe for the show, but really I think of it as just making music for a future project. So it varies, and I understand your question because it is a total chicken and egg thing. But in this case, it's not the chicken or the egg. I guess it's just God, even though I'm not even that religious at all.
It makes sense to me. I'm following along.
Yeah.
And then it was a big deal for us to get name-checked in your new song, Ha Ha Ha.
Yeah.
Can you take us behind the music on how a reference even ends up in a verse? Are you kind of humming along and then Hot Ones has the right syllables? Do you have a punchline and then you reverse engineer it? Is it abstract and difficult to explain, just like the first question?
No, it's not that abstract. It's not that abstract. I think in this instance, I do have a little Google Doc of punchlines that, every time I think of something interesting, I'll write it. So there is a list of different punchlines. Now that list gets smaller and smaller as time goes on and I use them, but I do add to them. And it's hard to say nothing like You're Up on Hot Ones was something that I've kind of always had in that little list and I'd been waiting to use. And when I don't know why I used it then and there, but I used it and I think it works great.
Well, it worked out for us,
Shout out to you guys. Thank you for having me. I'm happy that you appreciated it. There are two wings so I just pick one, huh?
They're right next to each other.
Yeah,
let me help you.
Look, what would you do in this instance? Everything else is in a sequential order. These two,
actually, you are right.
Yeah, this isn't me being weird. This is
I would go with this one.
Okay.
And we'll see how it lines up.
Okay, sauce number 2. A delicate baby wing.
So if a rapper doesn't show up for a studio session, I guess you can always just ask them the next day. But if they don't show up for a scene in a show that you're making, it can be effectually lighting hundreds of thousands of dollars on fire.
Yeah.
Are there any stressful cameo situations that come to mind when you think of the first 3 seasons of Making Dave?
There are so many. And to be clear, I'm not going to name names, but there are several instances where episodes have been written about a particular celebrity. Oftentimes it ends up being a rapper. And they don't show up on the day, and then I immediately have to totally reimagine, rewrite the scene on the spot, call someone else, hope someone else is in town. I'm not going to name names again, but it is very stressful. I've had to bring $20,000 in a backpack for whoever shows up that day. And then I left that backpack at catering at lunch. And I was like shooting another scene, and I was like, oh my God, like my $20,000. And I sprinted to go get my backpack. It was still there. And then an artist came and actually didn't even charge anything. So anyways, it's very stressful. I think it's much easier as time goes on. Like season 1, I'm having to convince—
Proof of concept.
Yeah, I'm like, YG, like trust me, it's gonna be great. Like season 3, I'm like, Brad, I know you've seen it. And yeah, so it gets easier as time goes on. Okay, Stellar Fuzz. I got a lot of meat.
Yeah.
I was a big chunk of meat.
I saw that.
Spicy.
I had to take a bigger bite just to keep up.
That's spicy.
And this one is a little bit of a step here.
That's great. That's great. I would order that. No problem.
Whoa.
No problem. And I keep it real.
I know you do. I know you do.
No problem. It's lingering, but it's not a problem. I'm happy it's still there.
So no matter how ambitious the show gets artistically, I know it'll always be important. You just always have great jokes. Is there a backstory to the Somebody Suck Me viral campaign?
The backstory, it's so, like, dumb. But, yeah, essentially me and my best friend Benny Blanco.
Love Benny.
For whatever reason, we started calling each other Buck. It very quickly transitioned into Chuck. There was one night in New York City where we were like, I stayed up the latest I ever stayed up. And I think I was just like, we were like, oh, like Buck me. And I was like, suck me. But like, not seriously, just like a joke. And then I was like, oh, like somebody suck me, like The Mask, you know?
Yeah.
And it really, and once we said it, it was all we could say for like a month. And I knew I had to get it in the show. And I remember right after it came out, I remember all of my high school friends, we were in Costa Rica on a vacation, and they were like, I think they were like, that somebody suck me thing, like, it's never gonna catch on. And I was like, okay. And then we were in Costa Rica, and like some guy was like, yo, Lil Dicky, and I turned, and he was like, somebody suck me. And it was so validating, right in front of like all of my best high school friends. And that's the story. I feel nothing yet. Do you feel anything?
I'm on the same wavelength.
I feel like whatever that just did cooled everything down.
Whoa.
I feel like I'm now back to zero.
The Etch-a-Sketch has been shake clean.
I'm gonna take a sip of milk just because I like milk. Only because I like milk, not because I'm troubled.
From rapping to YG to the XXL freshman cypher to doing a freestyle in the Breakfast Club, you know, a lot of these major moments on Dave are all about that tension when it comes to rising to the moment.
Yeah.
How much does that mirror the reality of being an up-and-coming MC?
The XXL freshman episode, which was anchored around me doing it and failing. I don't know if I've even said this on record, so it might be a Hot Ones exclusive.
Oh, lucky us.
Truthfully, that was my experience in my XXL freestyle. I messed it up like 25 straight times. I truly fucked it up. I've never felt that much heat and humiliation and embarrassment. But then eventually I got it right, and that was the one everyone saw. So like actually if you look at the YouTube comments, everyone's like, Lil Dicky killed that.
If only they knew.
But now they know. And, that's the power of editing. And I wanted to speak to that. It's okay to fail. It's like, and that failure caused, hopefully, strength moving forward. But, it's not always going to be all roses and glory. Sometimes you're going to fuck up 25 straight times in front of the guys you idolize. It's got a sheen to it.
Cheesy color.
I don't like the flavor, no disrespect to the brand owner.
None taken. Keep it real. I know you keep it real.
This, most flavorful. Obviously, there's spice. So this is the one that feels like the step up.
It's getting serious now. Going forward, I'm not going to lie to you.
And so that's halfway, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's halfway. The other ones are just so much darker in tint. I can only
That's what's
imagine
happening
what that
around
means.
the corner. Yeah.
Yeah. Take a little sip.
So I love asking auteurs who came from the DIY video making school, what was the coolest new way you found you could spend money with a network budget? And then what did you see as being like the biggest waste?
Oh, there's so many things where I'm like, it costs that?
Yeah.
Like, for example, like anytime you have like any flame on camera. You got to like have like the fire marshal like come in and like you have to have like a whole man there. Like if I want to like light like anything, it's so like so people are always like, no, we can't do like any sort of lighting or like even a dog. You want to have a dog in a scene, like you're gonna have to have a trainer. You're gonna have to have like maybe multiple trainers and like all. It's just a whole. There are all the different departments that require. You can't really do things in a shortcut like DIY way anymore. Like there's all these rules and
the
regulations.
bureaucracy of Hollywood.
Exactly, but obviously I couldn't be more privileged. The dogs we've had on set have been just lovely. Yeah. Yeah, this thing is tan. Oh, too big of a bite.
Immediately, right.
No reason to make it that big.
And this one's called Bourbon Maple Reaper.
Reaper.
And that's the Reaper, I think, that...
It's foreboding.
Do you think the idea of comedy rap as a genre, that it ignores the degree to which hip hop and comedy are already deeply intertwined?
I think you're right, that they're always, at least from when I've been a kid, like there's always been like very comedic presences in hip hop. Look at Eminem, like there was, he was doing things that was making me die laughing. Yeah. Even like Ludacris and like his old videos, like that's always kind of been a thing.
I think the funniest Hot Ones episode we've ever shot has been with Trick Daddy. You know, like he's funnier than any comedian we have on here.
Yeah, I think at least initially, at least in the beginning part of my career was certainly, because I was trying to prove myself as a comedic presence, Like, so I'm trying to like get noticed by a company like FX that like I can get a TV show. And so I was really leading with the comedy sometimes in a way that might have been much more than Trick Daddy ever has. But yeah, I think there was a great synergy and it's been that way. I'm not the inventor of that synergy. Top 4.
Top 4, baby.
There you go. Another big bite.
For the uninitiated, what makes the chicken cheesesteak at Frank's Pizza in Cheltenham?
Yeah.
What makes that such an elite cheesesteak?
The reason that Frank's Pizza chicken cheesesteak was so good was because they used big chunks of chicken. I'm talking like, just hunks of boneless meat. And their cheese, American, everything was like so, by the end, like slick. Like there's a type of American that's used, and that is a hot wing, the one that I just said. There's a type of American that's used that like makes everything just like glisten. You take a bite, you look at it, and everything is
got that gloss.
Got that cheese gloss. And if you can go buffalo chicken cheesesteak, and they had, Philly and New York, they got great bread, great rolls. So it is a shame that Frank's is done. I think it'll be an irreplaceable hole in my heart, but I'm happy that I had it for all this time.
So this next one is The Bomb Beyond Insanity.
Terrible title. The Bomb Beyond Insanity. I don't want to go. Why would you want to go beyond insanity? I feel like insanity is the furthest we want to go as a species.
No, I agree with you, but
we have to. We have to go beyond.
The concept of the show.
I hear you. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Immediate heat.
Yep. It won't stop.
Definitely the worst by far.
I'm just setting expectations over here.
Now it's gotten in the throat.
Yeah.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Season up.
Everything is different now.
Yeah. Remember the good old days? Remember those times?
That's why, yeah.
And now, it's completely on its head.
It's only getting worse as time evolves.
And it's just gonna keep growing,
That's
all right?
Unfortunate.
And we'll get over that hill.
Because there's 2 more. I can't even, they get worse. My tongue is really hot.
It sucks.
It's okay.
I get it. Besides Allen Iverson, who's your all-time favorite Philadelphia athlete?
I have to pick one?
You can let it fly.
I'll let it fly.
Let it fly.
Names flying into my head. Brian Dawkins.
Legend.
Visor. Just knocking people out.
Safety coming in head on.
Jason Kelsey.
Woo.
Come on.
Contemporary.
Talk about, let's never forget who he is. Look, this is gonna surprise a lot of people. I was a big McNabb guy. I think Philadelphia always looks at him as he didn't get over the hump, but I would rather personally compete for a decade every year and be in it.
Yeah.
And for a guy to, at 10 years straight, pretty much, have us in the conversation and have hope.
Right.
I'm into that.
You're a sports fan like I'm a sports fan. I think it's all about the ride, because it ends in disappointment for everybody except for one team. You know what I mean? There's all these perpetual playoff teams, and I just hear like camera guy Bill over here, he's a Bills fan, just complaining all season. Like, I get it. They get to there and they lose, but I'm like, at least you're in the game. At least you're in the playoffs.
I always say, you don't deserve to participate in the joy of winning a championship if you're not going to be along the ride for the misery. But when the Eagles won in 2017-18, I turned down free tickets to the Super Bowl to go to the game, to go back to Philly to watch with all of my high school friends. They won. No better night of my life than being in Philly the night the Eagles won their first Super Bowl. Like, walking around the city, like, you could bump into someone on that night and they would, like, normally you bump into someone in Philly and it's like they're like annoyed. That night, they're hugging you. And it was beautiful.
Brotherly love.
I felt it that night.
How are you feeling?
It's real. It got real. But I am okay, and I just hope I continue to be okay. This one is just like, it's so shiny. Like, there's like a incandescence to it, if that's the right word. I don't know if it's the right word, nor do I care. Let's go. Good chicken. Let's talk about the chicken. We haven't spoken about the chicken.
Because I know that you're a chicken guy, like your favorite dishes, you like this chicken cheesesteak. Yeah. You like the company chicken. Company chicken in the show as well. Yeah, you're a chicken guy.
So my favorite food my mom cooks, and my favorite food in general, if I was on death row and I had one meal, my mom makes this food called company chicken and company noodles because she would make it whenever company came over. It was just like the name we gave it. We made it in the show, and one of the best parts is literally they have like an on-set chef who like got the actual recipe from my mom, and I was like, oh my God, they're really making like vats of company chicken and company noodles, and I love it so much that I was like, they would be like, and it was a dinner scene, a 5-hour scene to shoot. They'd be like, cut, but I kept eating. Like, even in between, they were like, Jeff Schaefer, the guy who my co-creator, was like, Dave, like, we're shooting the scene for 5 hours. Like, I wouldn't keep eating when we're not even shooting your coverage in between takes. Like, and I was like, I just love it too much. And they made like a really solid batch. Kept eating. I'm not kidding. I farted and I shit my pants on set. I farted. I was like, oh. And then I went to the bathroom. I looked down and there was shit in my underwear. And I had to literally like whisper to wardrobe, like, hey, like, I need new underwear because I just shit because I love the food so much. So shout out Company Chicken.
Shout out to Company Chicken.
That wing's not terrible.
All right, well, on the topic of shitting your pants on set.
The final straw. I spit everywhere. The last dab, unopened package.
Don't do that.
Okay. Like smelling salt. Oh God, it was too big of this.
Yeah, do a little, hit that wing down. I do a little. Get a little knockoff.
Ay. All the sauce is gonna touch the tongue.
There's no way to escape, but you know what? It's the last one, the last bite. To you, Dave.
To you.
And down it goes.
Oh, Sue. Sue's showing a towel.
To close things out, we've seen today that your self-belief, it allows you to manifest these things that people in your life, including your parents, don't think can happen.
Yeah.
When you think about Dave Bird's final form, what is the legacy that you want to leave? Like, when you picture that, what is it that you envision?
Great question. By the way, I'm still here. I'm right here with you.
There you go.
Look, first and foremost, I think you're asking me a question as it pertains to like the art and the creative legacy. Deep down, I want to figure out a way to live life where my happiness and peace of mind and satisfaction is not totally intertwined with like the success or output of my art. But I really feel like I'm scratching the surface as a rapper too. Like, I think what I've achieved with my TV show is so up here, and I don't think I've achieved that as a rapper, but I think I can. So for the next immediate future, like right now, actually, my main determination is to like catch up as a rap and like really like, because I think probably a lot of people thought I was a rapper to get a TV show and then I'm done with it. Far from, I feel like this more hunger as a rapper than I've ever had. Like I feel like I'm like 2010 all over again and just like needing to prove myself, which is a cool place to be 10 years into it. So I don't know, man. I just want to be great.
Well, you know what? You have a hunger for the wings of death today. Taking on the gauntlet in front of you and conquering. Now, there's nothing left to do but roll out the red carpet for you, Dave. This camera, this camera, this camera. Let the people know what you have going on in your life.
Guys, I just put out a new album. It's called Penith, the Dave soundtrack, which is, if you've watched my show, it's like every one of the best songs that's ever made it into the show. It's the first time I put out a body of music in about like 9 years. I feel like my whole career up until this point has been like setting myself up for what's about to come, and what's about to come, you'll just have to wait and see. But Penith, the Dave soundtrack, out now. Spotify, Apple Music, any way you want to stream it. I'll see you guys in hell. Thank you. I'm proud of myself. Like this?
Yeah, we can just do this.
Yeah. Oh, I got snot on my
Or we could do a snot.
Ay.
Hey, what's going on, Hot Ones fans? This is Sean Evans. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you would like to get the taste of Hot Ones delivered right to your door, well, I have good news for you. The season 23 Hot Ones 10-pack is available now. Heatness.com, Heatness.com. That's Heatness.com to get your hands on the season 23 Hot Ones lineup. Milk not included, ice cream highly recommended, and remember, be careful around the eyes.